Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are testing out Ohuhu's new soft chisel tip markers. I'll be comparing them with the regular chisel tip to see how they perform in blending, as well as what kind of lines and shapes each nib can create. At the end, I will use the soft chisel tip markers to draw a mushroom and share my final thoughts. Thank you to Ohuhu for sponsoring today's video. Now, the chisel tip has always been my go-to for drawing, but I have never seen a soft chisel tip before, so I was really curious to try it out. This set is a Honolulu S series. One side has a soft chisel, and the other side is a regular brush tip. Here's a comparison between the regular chisel tip and the soft chisel tip. The soft chisel is a bit narrower, and the nib itself is thinner. As usual, the set comes with a brochure, a clear sheet you can place under your paper to stop colors from bleeding through, and a blank color card. I've already filled mine in. You can pause the video to take a closer look. I feel like these sets lean more towards mid-tone shade with some nice light beige and brown options. That's why I thought mushroom would be a perfect subject for today's demo. For me, the only thing missing is a light green color, which is the color I used most. Here is a closer look at the nib itself. The soft chisel isn't super soft, it's more of a medium softness. That makes it flexible enough to bend when you press down on the paper, but still firm enough to keep control for consistent lines. When you are drawing curves or changing marker direction, it is much easier than a regular chisel. Now let's take a look at blending with both nibs. First, I will test them by drawing a simple sphere. I picked 2 shades of green for each tip and blend them together. For the base layer, the soft chisel tip makes it easier to keep the ink inside of the outline, since the nib is smaller. With a regular chisel tip, you need a bit more control to avoid going outside of the edges. The soft chisel felt more natural for curved strokes, but when we look at the finished spheres, the blending result looks very similar. How well they blend also depends on the ink quality and your technique. Since I've used regular chisel tip for years, they feel second nature to me, but for beginners, the soft chisel will probably feel easier and more flexible to handle. Next, let's take a look at layering. Both nibs perform really well. Using just one color, I was able to build up a range of shades from light to dark, simply by layering more ink. Then I tested blending with 2 different colors, an orange and a green. In this case, the regular chisel tip blended a little better. I think that's mostly because the orange in the soft chisel set is more saturated and darker, which makes blending more challenging. That feels more like an ink pigment characteristic than something about the nib itself. However, a white nib does help reduce overlap between strokes, which can make the blending faster at the beginning. So my takeaway is I would use a regular chisel tip to quickly lay down larger areas of color, and then switch to the soft chisel tip later on for refining details and adding small touches. Now let's take a look at all kinds of lines and strokes you can create by using both nibs. With a soft chisel nib, curves come out smoother and more dynamic. With a regular chisel tip, it's harder to get clean curves. They often look a bit rigid. The edge of a stroke made with soft chisel comes out smooth and clean, while the regular chisel often leaves tiny dents and slightly uneven edges. Depending on your art style, this difference might be a big advantage, or it might not matter much at all. For me, my style is pretty loose. I don't often need perfectly smooth curves, so while the soft chisel is nice for adding smaller details, I can still draw just fine without it. But if your focus is like coloring books, illustration, fashion, and product design, where you often work in smaller areas and need smooth, precise coloring, the soft chisel tip can be a real game changer. I'm hopeless at calligraphy, so I won't be able to demonstrate it, but I can definitely see how the soft chisel nib would be perfect for it. For anyone new to markers, I think the soft chisel tip will feel easier to get used to compared to the regular chisel tip. Since the regular chisel nib is wider, many people find it less convenient for small details. Looking back at all these tests, the results are kind of similar, but the differences show up in the small details. So now let's put into practice with a drawing using only the soft chisel nib, and I will share more of my thoughts as I work through this drawing. As I mentioned earlier in this video, this 60 color set has some really nice beige and brown shades, which is perfect for a mushroom. I started with a light pencil sketch, then used a light beige marker to outline the mushroom. I have to say the soft chisel nib feels easier for outlining compared to a brush nib or the regular chisel nib. For coloring, I begin with a light peach to fill in the mushroom cap, then added purples in the shadow areas to complement the orange I planned for use later. When it comes to filling larger areas, I actually prefer the regular chisel tip. The soft chisel tip still works fine, but since the nib is smaller, it takes longer to cover big areas and creates more overlapping strokes. It doesn't really affect the final look, but it's something to keep in mind. When adding shadows on the stem, the soft chisel tip comes in really handy. It works very well in small areas, and using the corner of the nib makes it much easier to dab in tiny textures and details. Next, I layered a light orange color on the mushroom cap, followed by a more saturated orange. My strokes are not always uniform. I like to sweep across the paper instead of filling everything evenly, since I prefer a looser look. But depending on what you are drawing and what style you are trying to create, you will use different techniques. Here I overblended the ink, so it might look blotchy. Don't worry if that happens to you. Just let the paper dry a bit, and then go back in blend more. Once the paper dries and we layer more ink, the mushroom cap looks much smoother. I also like to leave a few visible strokes here and there. It helps add a bit of texture and style to the drawing. Overall, I really enjoyed using the soft chisel nib. I think the mushroom turned out pretty well. I still need to adjust some of my marker techniques for different nibs. I'm not completely used to this soft chisel nib yet, but I'm really satisfied with how it turned out. No matter which nib you use, there is always a bit of learning curve. I know lots of people prefer a brush tip over the chisel nib. Different nib shapes can create different styles and textures, but if used intentionally, they can achieve very similar results as well. In a past video, I drew the same eye using a chisel nib and a brush nib. Both blends very well and turned out great. If you are wondering whether you need a soft chisel tip marker, it really depends on what you like to draw and what art style you want to create. For me, the soft chisel tip is great for later stage of a drawing. It's more of a nice extra tool rather than a necessity. It reminds me when I'm doing loose watercolor. Sometimes I switch brush sizes for different areas of a painting. But even if I use just one brush size, I can still complete the piece. It just might take a bit more effort. For artists working in a realistic style or creating detailed illustrations that require very precise lines, the shape and size of the marker nib can make a big difference. I'll be posting a real-time video of this mushroom drawing process with no voiceover on my Patreon, along with a step-by-step worksheet to guide you. Thank you so much for watching. I would love to hear your thoughts on these soft chisel markers. Do you think you will enjoy using them? And what projects will you use them for? Also, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. I will see you in the next video.